A load of people who grew up in Ireland had to study Irish in school, but then as they got older, never really had a good level. However, now that they appreciate it a bit more, maybe they would love to relearn it. So nio, tá mé chun Cúig Rud a chuairt Steve a dhéanfainn maidin amárach dá mbeinn ag athfhoghlaim na Gaeilge. Ibrahim an ceanna dránach, the kind of boring one, basic readings and profile questions. Obviously, it doesn't matter what else you go on to do, unless you can actually say hi, goodbye, thank you very much, you're welcome, and describe a tiny bit about yourself. Everything else is kind of undermined by that. So most people who've grown up in Ireland or live in Ireland will know the kind of basic ones of slán, díaghuit, díasmerguit, as well as that, let's say you'd have gumaleshgelt or bronerm, anything like that. But also knowing the 4 big profile questions are key as well. So what's your name? Cad sandwich. How are you? Constatatu. Where are you from? Claasu. And also, where do you live? Wiltu Idaconi. Make sure you know these and the answers to them, or whatever your answers might be to them, before you move on to anything else. Ever though, the question words. There's a big difference in English between someone asking you, where did you go to school? Why did you go to school? When did you go to school? And how did you go to school? The exact same as Gaeilge. While in English most of them begin with W, in Irish they all pretty much begin with C. So make sure to learn them off and know the difference between each one. Iver 3, verb conjugation. You've such an advantage learning Irish compared to other languages because there's only 11 irregular verbs in the whole language compared to, let's say, Spanish, French, English, which all have in between 200 and 300 each. But that does mean then it's extra important to learn how to conjugate a verb. In other words, what's the rule for the past tense, what's the rule for the present, and what's the rule for the future. Because every verb in the language, bar the 11 we've talked about, will follow those rules. There's loads of places online to find this, but remember, generally you're just going to modify the start of word for the past tense, either with a H or a D apostrophe. You're going to put on then an ending for the present tense and a different ending for the future tense. Iver Cahir, prepositions. Now you might be thinking, why in the world, if I'm only just getting back into a language, would I be learning stuff that's the equivalent of at, on, with? But firstly, even though those words are actually fairly common in any language anyway, although you may not always learn them first at school, in Irish they're extra important. You've essentially got the big 5, eg, le, the, and o, and these are going to be used for so many different things, even though their translations wouldn't be used in English. Let's say if I say I have a dog, for example, I'm going to have to use egg. Equally, if I'm saying I'm wearing a jumper, I'm going to have to use air. If I'm saying I need some water, I'm going to have to use O. So they're used for a lot of different things and to communicate a lot of base ideas that we need straight away when speaking the language. So make sure to learn off the big 5 prepositions. Eg, air, le, the, and O. Agus iver cúig, the common words. So while in a lot of textbooks they might try and teach you stuff about the family or the house first, and you're learning semi-detached cottage and grandmother twice removed before you learn actual things you'll use, such as like, anyways, because, so, therefore. These are the words in Gaeilge that you also have to learn straight away. Lahai, Marial, Marsin, Kinsa, Ansha, Anshin. They'll come up over and over again and will straight away, if you learn them off, get you to a point where you'll feel comfortable expressing a lot of ideas really early on. There's loads of places where you can learn these things online. One of them is our bunk course of Gaeilge, or Irish Beginners course, over on learnirishonline.com. It is everything we mentioned plus a whole lot more in videos, PDFs, audio files. Really simple, easy to follow format, and it's really going to help you get actually speaking what you really need to know super quick. If you're interested, head over to learnirishonline.com. Slán.